Hello. What you're going to need today is, I've got a yoga block, but what you can substitute that with is a couple of books. Okay, so I would say bigger than hardback, bigger than softback. Softback, is that what you call them? Hardback books, couple, or big chunky books. See, mine's about 4 inches thick. We're going to do a little bit with the hips using the block, and also a long band. So if you grab that while I sort myself out. So I've got a long band and a block. I mean, if it's a pain in the bum, you could fold up your mat. You know, we want a bit of height, but if you've got a spongy mat, that would kind of work. Better off with a book. So just see what you come up with. Whilst you're doing that, I will set up the body. Oh no, who's got COVID? So many bugs. My son had a sickness bug 2 days ago. My daughter's got it, so I'm steering clear. Okay, so feet hip distance apart, and we're going to get some movement through the hips. Okay, so yeah, it will be quite slow. So feet hip distance apart, softness in the knees. You lengthen up through your spine, and you create as much distance between the pelvis and the ribs as you can. Roll your shoulders up, glide your shoulder blades down, and be aware of how that feels. So we inhale up and exhale, gliding the shoulder blades down the back without forcing them. And then we're going to incorporate a little bit of movement through the upper body before we switch to the hips. So you're just rolling up and gliding down. And then we're just going to go into our lateral flexion. So just starting to move nice and slowly. The hips are staying still, and the rib cage is gliding down towards the hips. And just be aware of how far you're going. You can, fingertips are a guide, how far they go down towards the knees. And then we're going to start from the lower section. So we're going to hitch our hip. So if you place your fingertips on your hip bones, just for a little bit of feedback, we're going to bend that right knee, and hitch that waist. So the muscles have shortened this side of the waist and they're contracting. This knee's soft. Here we're lengthening, and then we lower down. So the pelvis is shifting now. So we're just pulling up and then lowering down. And then pulling up and lowering down. So you do find with this, the movement's quite limited to start with. It might be more one side than it is the other. So you're just hitching up and seeing how much movement we can get in before we challenge these a little bit more. We also need to get some movement through the ankles. So hitching up and then lowering down. And then we're just going to pedal push. So you're lifting. Imagine you've got your block or your book on your head. I mean, you could physically put it on your head if you want, to check that you're really working with stability. So now the hips stay still. You're lifting from the crown of the head and then you're lowering. And then lower down. Okay, so from here, we're going to transfer the weight forwards and raise up both heels. And then lower down. So you'll get more stable as you go on. Lift. And then slowly lower. So we're lifting. And then we're lowering. Notice all those little muscles around the ankles. Waking up. Knowing their role. And one more. And then we're going to change the angle. As we bring together, we bring the heels together now. So the toes point outwards. So immediately you feel your glutes firing up as you've turned the toes out. Connect with the core, and then we float up. And then down. Lift. And then lower. Lift. And then can you soften the knees as you come down? So a little bit of a plie. And then lift up. And then just soften the knees. Doesn't have to be that extreme. Lift up. And then again soften. Lift. Lower. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble. And then lower down. And then we bring the heels back into alignment. We're going to take the weight into our right side and just work through, our left side, and work the right leg. Take the weight in and switch. And lower. So then we go for our figure of 8. Now if you think of the leg being long, like a pendulum, so forget about the knee. We turn the leg in. So you've noticed I'm trying to keep my hips as stable as I can. And I've turned the knee in and then out. It's easier to do with a straight leg. The knee can complicate things, so we're just keeping the leg really straight. And we're moving in a figure of 8. So internal, external rotation. Michelle, no. Smart. Turn in and out. You're really bad with it. This knee of mine wants to bend slightly, so I'm trying to really straighten the leg. And then place back in. Michelle, have you got some books or something? Because we're going to use them in a minute. Not to read, but to use for balance. And then we squat back. So Mindful here of how you're pushing the weight back up. Try not to favor your stronger side. And we start to go a little bit deeper now into our squat. Okay, I want you to grab your block or your book. I'm sure you've got a yoga block, Michelle. You've got everything else in that bag. Actually, I'm going to put it not on my mat, I'm going to put it in front of me here, because I'm going to be wobbly enough. I mean, ideally, it would be probably a slightly bigger yoga block. But these smaller ones are good in that there's more range of movement. It's like you're wearing a platform shoe. Good. So you can double up your blocks. I mean, this is quite a chunker. So I'm taking my weight on the block, and I've got my hip bones level. So I'm in neutral, but my weight is through my right leg. I'm going to lower that foot down and hinge back up. So you can see the hips moving. So a lower and push back up, or pull back up. All muscles pull. So we pull. Obviously, you're a little bit unstable. You're trying to avoid the knee bending. It might want to bend depending on the depth of the block. And you just work to your full range. So I wouldn't need a higher position than this. As I feel as I get towards the end, my knee wants to bend. And yes, that ankle is aching. And we're going to change sides. So Amanda, if you're on replay, this is good for you. So we're here, got the foot flex, leg long, and we just hitch down and pull back up. Now, what's the flexibility like on that side? Is it better? Does the knee feel like it's not so likely to bend? Hitching up. So I'm actually just hovering or skimming the floor and then lifting back up. So what's happening is you're mobilizing, but you're also working the stabilizers of that right side in your hips. So you're working through your glutes. And then we're going to switch back. I'm going to add on. So we step on and we're going to just hitch down, lift and take out to the side. So lower, lift, lift. Lowering down, lifting and lifting. And again, lower down, hitch, lift. Lower down, lift. Fantastic exercise to strengthen and mobilize the hips. One more. And it gives you a lot of feedback in that you discover which side is a little bit more limited in movement. So we place that foot back on, foot is flexed. And then we lower, lift, out to the side, lower. I'm definitely more limited in my other side. How about you? Lower, lift, lift, lower, lift. One more. Okay, step off. We're going to go for a stretch. So we did this in Wake Up and Move yesterday. If you need support of the wall, go next to the wall. We're going to come into an externally rotated hip like so, and then we're going to sink into hip opener. And then push back, and we'll do one more. And then push back. We're going to do the other side. So you place the leg above the knee, opening out through the hip. Oh, dog's barking. And then we squat. Push back up. And again, squat. Push back up. Now let's put a few shoulder exercises in, seeing as though you're on live, Michelle. So we're just going to roll. Hips stay still now. They've done their work. And then you're going to do your dumb waiter. So you squeeze the shoulder blades together and then release. Now we can continue this with incorporating the hips as well. Nice and slow. So this time we're going to bend the right knee and open out as we open the upper body as well. So waking up those muscles in between the shoulder blades, waking up the glutes. One more. Coming back in, ready for the other side. So we're just bending the knee. Open. Let's do our cherry picking in standing. So in this position here, my shoulder blades are kind of where they should be. What I'm going to do is reach one arm forwards so the shoulder blade shifts around the ribs. Keep the distance between the ear and the shoulder itself, and then pull back. And then the other side. So I'm just reaching. I'm not moving my spine, and then drawing back. And then reaching and drawing back. So it's stretching the muscles in between. Reach, draw back, and reach, draw back. Then reach both arms forwards like you're hugging a tree. Pull the tummy in and pull back. And then the other side. So we just switch arms. And then pull back. We're going to come into lying now. So pop yourself on the floor. So continuing with hips, take your feet as wide as the mat and just let the hips roll. So you're keeping both shoulder blades into the mat and you're just rolling, feet wide, just rolling side to side. Feeling a lengthening through the side body as well. And then you're going to grab your band. So I'm going to raise the band up above the chest. I'm going to overreach it and drop the shoulder blades back down. So overreach and drop the shoulder blades back down. That's for awareness, because we want the shoulders to stay in neutral, into the mat. So we're going to lift one leg up, followed by the other leg without shifting out of our neutral position. And then we're going to tap to the floor and tap to the floor. Lift, lift. Feel those deep muscles all around your abdominals, into your waist engaging. Frog in my throat. Lift and lift. Lower and lower. Now lift, lift and hold. Take the band behind you. Extend one leg forwards. Pull back. Extend the other leg forwards. Pull back. Keep going. Feel it in your abdominals. When you pull it back, you curl up. And then you extend one leg. And then you curl up. Extend the other leg. Should be feeling it now. I'm getting tickled by my Christmas tree. Pull up. Extend. Pull up. 2 more. Rest the legs down. Relax the arms. Bring the feet together this time and the knees together. So it's more movement through the spine as we rotate. We're going to go away from the screen and then come towards the screen with the legs. And go away. And come towards the screen. And then the opposite arm comes up and over. Keep the lower body still, opening up through the upper body. And back. I love this combination of upper lower body rotation. So the next one we're going to hold. And then we're going to just bring the legs over to the other side, keeping the upper body still now. And then the legs towards the screen. And the legs away from the screen. And this time we bring the arm over and I begin to be a little bit unsociable. And then we lift up. And return. Lifting up. And return. Lifting up. Hold the open position. And draw the legs back to center. So you're centered on the mat because you might have shuffled off a little bit. Grabbing the band. Lift the legs up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down. Up, up, hold. Take the band behind you. Extend the legs. Draw back, curl up. Extend the legs, extend the arms. Curl. Keep the abdominals as flat as you can and keep the spine in neutral. Apart from when you pull the knees in, you can imprint slightly because that's going to work the abdominals a bit more, so it's more like a crunch. Inhale, exhale. 2 more, if you can, that is. 1 more. And then rest down. And then we take a moment to release the neck. And then we're going to come into 4-point kneeling. So we're going to do a press up. So as you know, as I've did them in a lot of my classes last week, you keep the elbows inside the mat and you hinge forwards and push back. Now it might mean that you don't go as far, which is fine, as long as the quality of the movement is good and your chest isn't sinking. So we're hinging, so the nose comes further forwards than the hands, and then we push back up. Now I'm going to give you a different variation. Linda, if you're on, you can use your ring. I'm going to give you a different variation, which we've done before. A couple of people said in the classes I did yesterday, they felt it was easier, this variation, and I'll explain why. So hands are underneath the shoulders, and this time I'm going to extend my left leg behind me. Oh, getting tickled again. I've got to move away because I keep getting my foot in the tree. So I'm going to extend, I'll extend my right leg away. And I'm going to keep it there. Now we're going to hinge down and push up. So is that easier for you? The reason being is the leg is counterbalancing. So if you imagine a seesaw, yeah? So the load is distributed. But what it is doing, it might be easier rest, it might be easier on the load, but it's working, you're stabilizing more because you're almost off balance. And then we extend the leg behind, the other leg, and we're coming down. Push back up. Try to distribute the weight evenly, left to right side. And again, if you don't come down too low, it's fine. One more. And then rest down. We're going to come onto our tummies. And the arms are wide. Prone line. My gaze is at the floor and it's going to stay there as I'm going to lift from my mid-back as I lift up, working through the upper back and not pressing into the floor with the abdominals. And you might feel it in your lower back, but it shouldn't feel like a sharp pain or anything. It's just those muscles are engaging. And then lift. And then lower. So if you want to take that further, feel very free to do that. So what we do is we float the arms above the floor and lower. Now you may have felt some engagement through the glutes then. That's not unusual. And if you're wondering about the breathing, it doesn't matter as long as you are. And then we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the elbows in, push all the way back. You're going to extend the right leg behind and draw the knee in between the hands. Okay? I'm just going to lean and I'm going to adjust the foot positioning so the foot comes to the outside of the mat or thereabouts. Relax the foot behind you, so rather than have flexion, you've got, but if that causes cramp, keep the flexion. Hold here. And then if you wanted to, you could come lower. I mean, you could use your block if you like and rest the head on the block. It's quite nice actually to rest the head on the block. I'm going to push up. I'm going to come out of it. And then we're going to do the other side. If it's uncomfortable, come onto your back and rotate the legs from side to side. Reach the leg behind. And we use momentum to draw it in. Relax the foot behind if that doesn't cause any cramp issues. Lean. Adjust the foot. Keep the height to start with. And then if you wanted to, you could come lower. Coming out of it. And coming into seated. So, we're going to bring the feet together in a thigh stretch. So you're using your forearms to push the legs out and sit tall. And then from here, straighten both legs. And we're going to do spine stretch. So flex the feet, the toes point to the ceiling. Lift the arms. Round forwards. And then you can hold on to your feet or your trousers, your ankles. Rebuild the spine. And there you go. So we have worked shoulders, tricep dips. We worked the shoulders in standing. We did some hip rebalancing, hip stretches, sneaky abdominal work thrown in. Hope that was okay. Michelle, I hope you feel better. I'm glad you're feeling better. And I shall see you all tomorrow morning, hopefully. Wake up and move. Maybe you do it a bit later. All right, so take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.